Good morning, it is me, Pearl, from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the divine feminine and divine masculine balance inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our outside interactions with one another, etc., etc. If you want to be able to see changes, you have to make changes. We're going to use a wild card spread today from the Tattoo Tarot deck. I'm excited to try. It's got 7 placements, which means we're going to have to pull an extra card for no, actually we don't have to pull an extra card. We will consider the top of the deck position 1, and then we'll just use the bottom of the deck as the underlying, like we normally do. So position 1 is going to be the core issue that this reading is about. And then there's going to be 6 more positions, and we'll go through each one. And we'll just take one side after the other. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but we'll see what we can say. All right, let us begin. We're going to start with Divine Masculine energy because he had 4 cards showing, and Divine Feminine had 3 cards showing, and Divine Masculine has a lot of reversals, so I don't know what's going on with him, but let's take a look. Okay, so the core issue that this reading is about. Divine Masculine, for you, the core issue is the 6 of Cups in reverse. So it seems to be relating to the past. When we see this card upright, we're thinking about benevolence and generosity. Innocence, there's an innocence there, and traditionally there's like a divine masculine figure giving a cup filled with like flowers to a child, like it looks like perhaps a feminine child. So it's like it's got this like paternal to child energy. Sometimes the card will have 2 children on it, but it's definitely a card about innocence. So what we're looking at is the core issue. And if we're looking at this as the blockage that Divine Masculine faces, then his core issue is having to do with past energy. It could be children from a past marriage. It could be the past marriage itself. It could be family relationships, family dynamics, past family dynamics. It could be the past between the Divine Masculine and Feminine energy, but the core issue is that Divine Masculine is, first of all, resisting reunion because of needing to release the past. It could also be this something in his past. The next position is, this is his past feelings or attitudes about this issue. So, the 2 of Pentacles. I cannot! Look at this. It's like a custody battle. Oh my God, right? It's like this responsibility. It's like juggling 2 things. It's like the way that he felt about this before is that he was constantly having to shift back and forth, juggling these huge responsibilities. We're looking at what's keeping him stuck. So in the past, he's felt that he had this huge responsibility and he had to juggle it, and he really couldn't make up his mind or make a choice about which direction to go. Oh gosh. So, I think actually, so we're looking at his headspace right now. This is his headspace. I should have clarified that. Oh my gosh, I'm just noticing everybody's here. Hi. I'm like having to use this wild card thing, so I'm not as like as I usually am. And it's just in the worst position. Let me try putting it like where I can see it maybe instead. That would be helpful. Okay, I should have just wrote it down. So past feelings. So yes, he was feeling like he couldn't make this choice to release this past energy, and he was like juggling this or whatever. However, if he had a family, he was juggling that with his career. If he had, a relationship, a person that he really wanted to be with, he was juggling her with the family. Like, there's just not really making a choice. That's his past feelings and his past attitudes about the issue, that he really couldn't choose between these two things. God, oh my God. And then this would be his past actions, which is the Three of Swords in reverse. So there was third party stuff, right? His past actions are that he has since released the third party that was involved because it's not upright, but he did engage this. What happened is this juggling caused this pain for everyone involved, all the parties. And now he's had to do this healing of these wounds. His refusal to make a choice kind of like prevented him from being able to like look and see how he was contributing to this and like what he was doing. And he was also probably engaging in third party relationships outside of a main relationship. Or if we're looking at this in terms of like career or manifesting something, it's like instead of focusing on his passions, he was like taking a lot of like side work. Like he got an Instacart job and a Lyft job in between the time that he was doing his regular job, instead of focusing on his passions and choosing to follow his heart and do the thing that he wanted to do. He was like doing all this side business and like depleting his energy. So you can look at it that way if you're not here for a love reading. But it's taking the energy and focus, which should be on self and filling the cup up. And then once that connection with that heart space is made, being able to share it with someone else, instead of doing that, he was like spreading the love. The next position is the universe's advice for the present. Fucking spill the beans. So the universe is like, no more of this Seven of Swords, keeping secrets, being sly, being strategic, trying to juggle all of this energy. Which what is happening? There's three people here. There's this one party here, and it looks like they're about to carve everyone up. It's like they're also like maybe gonna steal these away, like that, which is the more traditional imagery for this card. But the universe's advice for the present moment is no more hiding, no more cleverness, no more juggling energy. Your present feelings and ideas, King of Wands in reverse. So you do not feel like you are able to take action or communicate. You feel very trapped, or you're thinking, this is how you're thinking, I should say, you're thinking of yourself as unable to really communicate, express, take that action. You might be having trouble holding your vision, but this is how you're thinking about it at the moment. Oh my God. Where the situation is heading. Okay, this is interesting. This is the Four of Wands. It's in reverse. And I think the reason is because in order to be able to shift into a sacred union, this is the marriage card in the minor arcana. It's about celebration. It's about really being able to finally come together and unite with someone that's been missing for a long time. To be in reverse, it's like if we're looking at this past marriage or something, which is the core issue, or this past energy, or if this is children from a past marriage, etc., we're looking at having to release some of the celebration and happiness from the past energy, and working on commitment issues in order to be able to come into sacred union. And the universe's advice for the future? This is an interesting card. It's the Seven of Wands, and it's in reverse. And in this card, it's like super gross. Like, we're cleaning, all the wands in this deck are cleaning implements. Mops, brooms, you know, etc. Pipes. Very clever deck. But it's all about like cleansing, etc. And this is something that would be grueling, right? This is like a torturous punishment we give to, like, when people are trying to get into a fraternity or something, you know. You have to clean this with a toothbrush. This is like a really grueling, difficult job. It's dirty and it's unpleasant, and it makes you kind of gag, like thinking about, like, you put a toothbrush in your mouth and you use it to clean this toilet. It's really unpleasant. And the reversal on this is the universe's advice. This is stop fighting against this really unpleasant past energy and let it go. Let this past energy go so that you can reunite with that divine feminine part of self. All right, that was the head space. Now we're going to look at the heart space. Same positions, but the core issue, so the core issue of the head space was releasing the past. The core issue of the heart space is this Five of Pentacles, which I just did a live shuffle and pulled a card for Timothy, and it was this card for the divine masculine. So, and it was his core issue. And it's this feeling that there is a lack, that there is a void. But when you look within that void, because I used the Rachel True deck, and it's a really interesting image that has an eye in the center of like a hole, like a black hole, and it's surrounded by pentacles. But when we pulled two more clarifiers for the card, it was saying like you needed to release attachments to outcome, but also embrace being single and fabulous, and seek your spiritual fulfillment and integration of divine feminine. So we just saw that in the live shuffle. So the core issue of this reading is still that core issue. It is this Five of Pentacles. It is this feeling that divine masculine has, that he has a void he is trying to fill. The past feelings about this issue, his past feelings and attitudes, pretty rough. We have the Nine of Swords, and this is from the Tattoo Tarot. So he was feeling just so much anxiety. He was just overthinking, really, like, I mean, this is sleepless nights. Like, how am I going to fill this void? What am I going to do? What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? How come I can't make this work? Like, why is this happening? So remember, this is how he feels about this lack. And it's also how he felt about being in that position of having to juggle the two things, what he wanted, what he truly desired, and appeasing these people that he had past connections or bonds to. The next placement is his past actions. It's a star in reverse, and I love that there are two versions of this card in the deck, and the past version of the card came out first for this past position. And this position is telling me that in the past, he kept his true divine feminine hidden. He kept it hidden. He kept it deep within himself. It was there. He was resisting the healing that it offered to bring this feminine to the light. But it was what he really wished. But he didn't try to fulfill his wishes. This is what he did in the past. The universe's advice for the present moment. is the Queen of Cups in reverse. So this is let your emotions pour out without trying to control them. This is just really releasing every aspect of the feminine that you have kept hidden, because this is how it has made you feel. So it is just really, really, really release all of the emotions that have been stuck and trapped and buried, and allow that feminine energy to rise to the surface. If there was a past feminine that was overbearing or overprotective, the universe is telling you to release this energy, either through energetic work, going in and looking at the maternal energy that you had and reparenting the self with some modality that works for you, something like that. But the absolute, it's so vital that you do this work to integrate the feminine and release any feminines in your life that are overbearing or controlling or emotionally manipulative. Your present feelings and ideas, wow. It is the Six of Cups in reverse, because I can't make it up. And we know that this is the present feelings and ideas because this is the core issue. The core issue is this idea, right? The reverse Six of Cups. That you must release this past energy. The heart space and the head space are in tune. They're like, yep, okay? No more overbearing, no more distorted feminine energy in your life. Only positive, light-filled feminine energy. Ooh, I love this. Where is the situation heading? The Page of Pentacles, a fresh start in the material. This means you're taking small steps towards grounding your desire. So little by little, piece by piece, bit by bit, you're going to be able to get to the place where you need to go. This is a really positive light because it really is a reflection of this card. Piece by piece, you'll relinquish the commitment issues, the anxieties, the anxious attachment, avoided attachment behaviors, all those things that came from this past marriage. Bit by bit, you'll be able to piece together a fresh start with a new energy so that you can come into union with the energy that you desire to be with. And the universe's advice for the future, which was don't fight it anymore, right? The universe's advice for the future is the Magician in reverse, which is really interesting. To me, this is about releasing any sort of illusions, which Seven of Wands is about illusions, that you can do this on your own. You must co-create with spirit, not take control. That's a big thing that is difficult. You also have to remember that the magician doesn't create anything new. He just changes what is already there. So just to remember that it's the divine that empowers you. You must co-create to be able to release this overbearing energy or even the energetic imprint. Maybe you've already released this in a marriage or something, but there's an imprint that's there that came probably from childhood that needs to be released. So you need to turn to the divine to do this. You must trust in your power and your abilities. But you must also remember that those powers and abilities come from the divine. The underlying cards for this whole divine masculine headspace and heart space is the Page of Cups. So this is so heart-centered and lovely. This willingness to just lovingly nurture with this hopefulness that it's going to grow. And what's even more crazy about this is that the heart space underlying energy is also the Page of Wands. So we end with future, where this is heading in complete page energy. This old energy that we started this core issue. Where are you heading? New love, new job, new passions, new opportunities. It's exciting. It's fresh. And the innocence that was lost is reclaimed. Hey, that turned out okay. I like that a lot. I'm really glad that I had this spread today, because if I read that without those positions, I would have been like, I don't know about this reading. So it was beautiful. All right, let's look at Divine Feminine now and give her the same star treatment, or should I say rose treatment, because this is the rose spread from the Tattoo Tarot. All right, dear Feminine. I will still be doing oracles like normal, but we're just doing the actual, what is it, feminine masculine spread part? I don't know. That part that I do in the beginning, we're just following this other thing. I really wish my bra straps would stay up today, or my bralette straps. They're being very annoying. Okay, let's see. The core issue for Divine Feminine is interesting, because this was the underlying feeling, or not feeling, yes, feeling in her heart space yesterday, and it has moved to the head space because I use the same deck, and it is the Two of Pentacles, which we already saw today for Divine Masculine, in the position of his past feelings, right? So Divine Feminine, the word on this card says change. So the core issue right now is an awareness that you must choose to change in some way, or that you want change, or that you're seeking change. But it's definitely something, it's like a decision to change, or a choice that is made to be made. This is what is the issue. The other aspect is the juggling component, the balancing component, and the imbalance feeling. So your core issue is you want balance and change. Your past feelings or attitudes about the issue, the Six of Swords, which is transition. So it's like change and transition. Your past feelings about it are honestly good. You realize that you needed to learn from your mistakes and bridge, using those lessons, bridge yourself from where you want to be, bridge the dream into the reality where you want to go. So your past feelings and attitudes about it are, you know, I'm learning basically how I need to change and transition. There's also a little message here that in the past, instead of changing, you might have just moved on or transitioned away from something rather than kind of do the work and learn the lessons. There could have been a tendency to just kind of like keep it pushing, and which is a detriment, because if you had stuck around and kind of learned a little bit more about the situation, you would be a little further along in your progress now. So your feelings and attitudes are about that are like, you know, maybe I kind of quit things too easily, or I moved on from things a little too easily, or tried to escape things when they got a little bit too sticky. Your past actions. Oh, this is so positive, Divine Feminine, because I'm seeing that the reading where your past feelings and attitudes are, I need to learn my lessons so I can move on. I need to transition so I can move on. Your past action was this. So you released your attachment to something physical. This is the Four of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. This is stability. So there's also here, it's so multi-layered. There's this awareness, because we're looking at a headspace, that in the past you would move on, or you would try to just go to the next thing before you had really learned your lessons, and you would destabilize yourself. But you've recently learned that, because this card wasn't in reverse, so it was like you have learned these lessons, and your past actions were, you know what, I learned from the pain I endured. So I released, good morning. So I released my attachment to these pentacles, right? To whatever it was that was what I considered my stability, what I thought was going to make me feel stable. I'm releasing this attachment to this. The universe's advice for the present moment. We already got this card for Divine Masculine. It's the 9 of Swords in reverse. It says fear on it. And the universe's advice is don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, right? Be happy. Just relax. It's okay. Release your fears and anxieties about what it felt like to release an attachment to something. It is scary to do it, but just don't be afraid. You are on the right path. Your present feelings about this and ideas about the situation, you feel stuck. But what did God just tell you? You're not stuck. This card right above here, this is the card of transition and movement. And that's what is happening from the past. If you started moving in the past, that means you're now arriving where you need to go. So you need to not be afraid. You are feeling like you are battling still struggling, still kind of stuck in this position. But where is the situation heading? Oh my God! The 9 of Pentacles. Single and fabulous. Really in being able to enjoy your abundance. Having done the work. Having embraced your passions and started to see abundance return from that passion. Being able to be fully in the divine feminine and just look fucking fantastic. Like, I'm wearing a pencil skirt today, honey. I got like a cute little crop top. Like, I'm working it, right? This is this energy. This is where the situation is heading. Now, you can look at this as if you've got the 6 of Swords in reverse and the 4 of Pentacles, and we're looking at this whole spread and not just for each of its positions. It looks to me like some of the divine feminines have fully released an attachment to a past energy, and they are now moving on. They're now new, fresh, single, ready to be receive the next thing, which is the universe's advice for the future. The 6 of Pentacles. Whoa, I just dropped all the cards on the floor. I'll have to get those in a minute. The 6 of Pentacles upright. So the universe's advice for the future is about reciprocity. It's about investing in self and seeing a return on this investment. Now, in this card, traditionally, there's 2 individuals, but today I was called to choose the field tarot for the headspace, and so now we see hands, just 2 hands, and they look like they belong to one person, and they are ready to receive or they are giving, but there is only one energy here. It's like, in order to see reciprocity, you need to give yourself the same amount of energy and time as you give thinking and dreaming about the thing that you want. All right, let's get these cards that just fell down, which means positions might have been changed, but whatever. That's probably why it happened. Okay, so let's now look at the heart space. That was all the head space. Now, the core issue for the heart space is temperance in reverse, impatience. Ooh, impatience. Impatience with self, impatience with the situation that you're in. Just, impatience. Oh, my phone's crooked. It's driving me crazy. And also kind of having a difficult time just sort of like being in the middle, being balanced, kind of a little bit too extremes of emotion. And like, sometimes like black and white thinking, instead of just being a little bit more in the gray area, you don't know everything all the time, divine feminine. And it's also kind of difficult for you to trust right now in the divine protection of this union and self. So there's impatience. This is the core issue. Your past feelings and attitudes about this issue, the Tower. Yep. What does your impatience get you? What does intemperance get you? Well, You can't see the tower, right? It fucks your shit up. The divine is like, if you're not going to believe in me, if you're not going to trust in me, and if you're not going to do what I told you to do when you asked me for something, well, we're going to have a problem. I'm going to have to shake things up. So the way that you felt about this in the past is that if you were impatient, it was going to cause these tower moments, or you feel now, as you reflect upon it, you can see that it's your impatience and your impatience alone that caused all of the destabilization that would happen. But the Tower is a wonderful card because it actually prepares you to rebuild something new from all of the pieces that have crumbled. So there has been this release that is needed to take place. Your past actions. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Clarifying 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Girl, you released your attachment to your material happiness. You released your attachment to the idea that you knew what this is composed of, what this constituted. Because you have released this attachment now to this material, you are able to receive it because it's through not concerning yourself with what the actual material version of this looks like, of your like 10 of Cups, which we saw, I saw earlier today. It's like you really did it. You're really doing good. You realized your impatience causes tower moments, so you released your attachment to the thing that was making you feel impatient. You're like, okay, I can't have it now. I can't have it now. I'll let it go because it's causing all these terrible experiences and I don't want to have that anymore. I want to have peace. I want to release my fears. The universe's advice for the present is the Moon. This might seem frustrating. It's clarifying your fear and anxiety, though. It's, first of all, to embrace the secrecy and the mystery that is within all magic, all faith, all religion. One of the reasons I've always been so drawn to Catholicism as an adult, I was born into it and raised into it, but later as an adult, the thing that I craved the most was the mystery itself. The idea that when you lit a candle in front of, one of the shrines of the saints, I remember that having that experience with my grandmother, that I would be allowed to light a candle to say a prayer for someone. And this mysterious feeling as a child that, like, my grandmother, who was a grown-up and, very elegant. She was, oh my God, she did eleganza before eleganza was even a thing. She was like a cuspy Leo Virgo with red hair. She was just a formidable queen. And this, someone I really looked up to, believed implicitly in the magic of lighting that candle. And it was so mysterious. My dad was not Catholic. He was Mohawk and French Canadian. And he didn't deny religion of any kind. He just felt that organized religion was a little silly. So he didn't participate. And I respected him too. But it was interesting to see as a child, like, this person have this reverence for this mystery. And my dad's actually not embracing Catholicism, and he would always tell me it was because he believed in the mystery itself, that no one knew the answers. And so he didn't want to pledge allegiance to anything because no one really knew. So the universe's advice is to embrace that mystery. There are things that you are not always meant to know. And keeping yourself awake at night trying to figure out what is going on is not always helpful. The other meaning of this card is that deep within your subconscious, there are secrets hidden, waiting to be revealed, that can give you the peace that you need to help release these worries and anxieties that you've had. So doing subconscious work, probably, like I use Lacey Phillips' program, but there's all kinds of different programs you can use. I mean, I'm just kind of starting to do this on my own without having to do like the hypnosis anymore. But if you just get into a meditative state and just ask your subconscious, like if you have something that comes up for you, like a trigger, just ask your subconscious, where does this come from? And it might show you an event from a couple of years ago. And you're like, oh, show me another time that has happened. Show me another time. Show me another time. Show me a time until you get to the point in your childhood where there's this moment that you were like, oh, it's the first time I saw that. And that is when I learned that lesson. Shining a light on the place inside where you picked up a belief. As an adult, you're like, oh, I didn't know. That's not actually true. That you know, that's not true for everyone. But I thought it was because that happened. But that's not how it is. That's it. That compassion for yourself, that integration. If you find something you don't like about yourself, like I found out I'm an evil queen, okay? Sometimes I'm an evil queen, I am, you know? But recently I started to embrace it. And when I did my shamanic healing, my healer said to me, you know, when you're violated as a child, you have a reason to become a very powerful evil queen because you have something to protect. And you have experienced already a time when someone didn't respect your boundaries. So it is very important that you respect your boundaries, and you have to know how to emotionally manipulate your way out of a situation, because as a feminine, as a child, you couldn't fight your way out, right? So you had to think your way out. You had to strategize your way out. You had a Queen of Swords your way out of shit. And if you can understand that the motivation for your evil intent is purely like anybody could have empathy for it, then the shame that is associated with it goes away. And the tendency to do the thing that you're depriving yourself of also goes away. So do the subconscious work. All right. Where your present feelings and ideas. Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which is impatience. And it's clarifying this 5 of Wands. So the way you feel right now is impatient with this mystery. You're like, I want to know. Because you feel like if you know, then that's what's going to help you break through. But you have to break through to know. It's like the other way around. I also think it's interesting that both of these cards remind me of like a stringed instrument or a guitar. But anyway, yes, your present feelings. You're impatient. You're impatient with how long it's taking. You might not really be feeling that positive about having to take care of yourself, having to like just nurture and care for yourself. You might want to be doing that for someone else right now, and so you're feeling a little bit like impatient about it. Where is the situation heading? Well, it is heading towards this King of Swords, or Muse of Voices from the Muse Tarot. So this is a divine masculine energy that is in his integrity. He tells the truth. He's direct. He can command armies. He can be icy. He can be aloof because he is very fixated on his goals. But it's like, this is strategy at its best. It's not like conniving in any way. It's really clear. It's direct. If you're wanting direct boundaries, you're going to get clear boundaries. You're going to get truth. You're going to get honesty. So this is where the situation is heading. Your impatience is leading you to empowerment. It's leading to clarity and truth. Doing the subconscious work gives you the power to be able to cut through the bullshit and head for what you are dreaming about. All right, my ego does not like this. This is the universe's advice for the future. If you want this reciprocity that you have to give to yourself, you have to be in hermit energy. This is the hermit. You need to go it alone. You need to go within and search within, do the subconscious work, and be on your own right now in order to deal with the impatience and make this change. But if you can do this, let me show you what the underlying energy is for this reading for Divine Feminine. The impatience that is in the heart space, that is the core issue that needs to be dealt with in the hermit energy, which means Divine Feminine, I think, is really impatient to get into a physical union. And if she can do the subconscious work that makes her, the reason you feel impatient is because you're afraid that you're going to lose something. The same things that make you feel jealous or envious, those are also what make you feel impatient. You think that you have a window of time to like get something, or you're going to lose it forever. And that's not how this works. If you're thinking about a specific person and there's a window of time and that person doesn't, you don't get to be with that person within that window of time, then that wasn't the person that God intended for you. It wasn't. And God is the higher self. So if you have trouble with that terminology, then you can say, that's not the person I intended for myself. Or that's not the job, or that's not the thing that I intended. I have to forget what I think that I need, right? Which you did in the past. And doing this, and now continuing to do this subconscious work, this will create the change that is the core issue. How do we counter impatience? With patience. And this deck puts the word union on the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is being able to see a light at the end of the tunnel, see the pieces falling into place. It's about just completely trusting, drawing all of your inspiration from the divine, and coming into union in self and just awaiting the arrival of your manifestation without any concern. And the heart space is Queen of Wands, which means you are able to hold your vision, patiently awaiting the arrival of what you know is coming. So if you're sad to see that you have to be alone right now, try to release that sadness, because first of all, I like being alone with myself. I'm very entertaining. Y'all get entertained by me all day. Do you think I stop talking when I shut off the phone and I'm all by myself? I don't. I entertain the hell out of myself. I'm like, I wish there was recordings to play back, because I would be so embarrassed of like the stuff I say. And like, be alone. You shouldn't be sad to be alone. I had the opportunity to move in with someone, and then thought about it for a month and was like, look, I don't care how nice the art is. Girl, I will get a car. I live alone. I can cook in the kitchen in like my underwear and no one is gonna mind about it. I'm like kind of okay. So if you're sad about being alone, I want you to write down all the great things that you get from being on your own and not having to cater to someone or please someone or clean up after someone or whatever. Just try to find the light there. Then once you've done that, and you're like, wait, maybe I don't even want a relationship at this point. Then do that subconscious work to release the fears and anxieties that are making you feel impatient. You can do that by holding that vision. Instead of thinking about how can I have this thing, you have to think, why do I even want this thing? Why do I want it? Why is going to take you to the heart of what makes you really impassioned. All right, let's look at the oracles now for Divine Masculine. All right, I am using the Sluttist Tarot for the sexual energy of the union. Again, if this isn't a relationship reading, you can just look at this as creative energy, because sexual energy is inherently creative. Good morning to you. Divine, and thank you for this deck, which I'm about to read from. And the other one that I also read from today. And so, drum roll please, Divine Masculine Sexual Energy. 5 of Cups. So It's got sad boy energy here for this masculine. It might just be a little bit of like, you know, yesterday he was like kind of wanting to just be on his own, and you know, now he's like, I'm just kind of sick of doing this on my own, if you catch my drift. And I also feel that he's trying to be optimistic about his ability to really be emotionally connected. I think that there is a like an issue with him. Like he's compartmentalized sexuality. There's like sex, and there's like making love. And he's been doing sex for a long time, and in his mind he's optimistic that he can transition into a feeling of an emotional bond, because he's not really had that in so long. And there's also there's this kind of sad solo energy going on for this divine masculine right now. Girl, I feel that. Okay. Divine masculine, you are in the light attributes of the hero today. This is a passion for this journey of personal empowerment. You're no longer engaging in escapism or a sense of false heroism. So you're not viewing yourself as this knight in shining armor that's going to rush in and save the day and da-da-da-da. You're like, nah, you know. I can see that this is about both aspects of self ascending together and then meeting here at this peak. And it's this journey to come together that I'm actually really pretty passionate about at the moment, which is beautiful. Your guardian angel is here with this higher education card for you. It's like, you know, they're holding the diploma. They're like, you've graduated. It was in reverse too. So it's even like, there might be some that are resisting lessons, but I actually feel it's more just like you've really learned these lessons. You've really learned this journey, what this journey is about, and you're kind of understanding that it's going to be a constant lifelong learning process, that you keep like, it's like you're getting like different levels, like you're graduating through each of the stages, but it's going to be something that you're always doing throughout your life. Hey, practice makes perfect. So you don't have to be perfect already. And your guardian angel is here to encourage you to practice being this new energy. You've got Page of Cups, Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, new. Whenever we try to do anything new, we're going to fuck it up. Like we're going to do it. We're going to be like, and then be like, shit, I just did what I always did, you know? It's okay. You just keep practicing. You just keep getting better and better at it. That's all. You know, when I first started my readings, go look at my first readings. I mean, they're good, but they're not great, right? Like, and as I keep doing the readings, I keep practicing the readings every day, I get better and better and better and better at it. You know, I make less mistakes. My ego reads a lot less. I feel like in a lot of my earlier readings, there was way more ego. I try really to like, get that out. Although sometimes I leave it in because it's pretty entertaining. But the idea just that you keep doing something day after day after day after day, and you just become an expert at it. It's inevitable. What's the future outcome of this situation? Well, are you doing it every day? Yes. You're going to be an expert at it. Really? Yes, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. It's just that you just keep doing it. You'll be an expert before long. This came out yesterday, and it's here again today for just you, Divine Masculine, but this is definitely encouraging you in this healing. We looked at your issues. There was resistance to healing in there. That star energy was in reverse. So you're really being called to allow this process to take place, let the divine do this work, and trust in the healing. Hey, a win-win outcome. I always do that. And then I think inevitably of Outcast music. Win-win outcome is forecast. So there's the scales balanced. That justice we kept seeing yesterday, here it is. It's here. It's balanced. There is, like, everybody's going to win in this situation no matter what happens, because the work that is being done is making you able to be your best self. The energy that we call God or source or whatever name we give that energy, That energy is pure energy. We experience it in 3 ways. We experience it as like basically like a clear cognizance, an inner knowing that there is a higher self. We then experience the Holy Spirit, which is when we get chills, or we feel the presence of something, or we have flames of fire overhead, we speak in tongues, or we, or we're called into action suddenly. Like, I feel like, like adrenaline, the fight or flight thing, when you're filled with adrenaline and you can like save someone all of a sudden. It's like the power of the Holy Spirit is within you. So we experience that energy that way. The third and final way of experiencing it is through physical bodies that are channeling the energy. We saw this in the Christ story as Christ, that is God and man at the same time. Basically, Christ opens to become the vessel through which God pours out. And like we have now, I guess, earth angels now. If you're in that situation where you are willing to be a vessel, the light comes out of you. You literally become the place through which God is able to communicate with other humans. Through your voice, through your music, through your paintings, through your fashion, through your body modification, through your, every single action you have is an opportunity for the divine to speak through these vessels, basically. And that process is creating heaven on earth, which is this card, Lemuria. So these two always get Pleiades and Lemuria, and Pleiades came out yesterday, and now we have Lemuria again. So there is this connection to these ancient star seeds. Divine Masculine, you got 2 cards today, and I was like, fine, I'll allow it. So your animal spirit cards today, you're getting Seahorse Spirit Protection Message, which we'll look up. This is Watch and Wait. And then we're getting Hawk Spirit, Let Spirit Be Your Guide. So without looking up both of these cards and just getting a sense of them, for me, it is like, this was in reverse. So Watch and Wait I want to look at, but Let Spirit Be Your Guide, it's sort of like, don't be stuck in this hanged man and energy anymore. Just stop waiting and actually start to do the things that the Spirit is, inspiring you to do. Okay? But let's look at the protection message for Seahorse Spirit, which is 53. Are you holding on to judgment, sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things? There are as many perspectives as there are creatures in the sea. And when Seahorse Spirit appears, you are reminded to detach from the experience so you can view it from more than one angle. Pay attention to your hidden beliefs and how they affect the way you think, feel, and act. Are you being fair to all involved, or do you need to step back? Perhaps the drama you have been drawn into is your own. Whatever the actions of others, your challenge is to be non-reactive and not take their words or behaviors personally. Their turbulence may have little to do with you, so remain neutral until you know more. Your perspective might be quite different in time. So, remain neutral and let Spirit guide you in whatever situation you're in. All right. Divine Feminine. Let's look at you. Girl, you got 3 sluttist cards. You got a lot of sexual energy, girl. Because yesterday you were suppressing your libido. Okay, not today, though. Oh, my God. Divine Feminine. I mean, not going to lie. I had a good morning this morning. All right, so top card up for sexual energy for Divine Feminine. Girl, the sun. You feel good, honey, right now. Your sexual energy is like basking in it. And it's enlightenment about it too. You're like, you know what? I got a lot of fire up in here. And then we're getting the 4 of Cups. So you're feeling very dreamy, you're in your fantasies right now. You might have had a fun time today, fantasizing about things that you really, 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 really like. And the final card up is the 2 of Cups. So I can see some of your fantasies, I think, but also I think what we're seeing here is this, maybe realizing yesterday, at the reading yesterday, when you saw that 8 of Wands in reverse and heard the messages about how you're holding back your libido because of your fears, worries, and anxieties. And then also, I want to state for the record, I don't know what my DM did yesterday in regards to his homework assignment, but I did my homework assignment. I opened my heart, which was the masculine energy was supposed to open his heart, and like get together, like allow that to happen and release outdated thinking about the relationship. So I worked on that, and then the feminine was to be seductive and flirt. So I did my assignment yesterday. So I don't know about my divine masculine, but I don't think I got any flirting. So he didn't do the feminine assignment, but I don't know if he opened his heart or not and released the past. It doesn't look like it based on this reading, but I did my homework, and you know what? I had a great day. So whatever homework we get today, I highly recommend you do it, because I did my homework, and I woke up this morning and did my homework, and look at my sexual energy now. Now there's not a withholding of the energy. There's not a suppression of the energy. Instead, there is an enlightenment about fantasy becoming reality, and the way that you can do this. You can illuminate and bring light to your passions and your creativity, your fantasies, and make them physical. Actually experience the pleasure from engaging with the things that we love. Love that for us. All right, now, Divine Feminine. You're in the shadow traits, though, today of the damsel. So, you might still be waiting for a knight to provide for you, or being seduced by romantic illusion. And you need to understand the nature of healthy romance and rely upon yourself. So there are some of us that are still waiting for a knight. And I catch myself doing this. Like, there'll be something that comes up and I'll be like, well, when this happens, then I guess that won't be a problem. Why? Why? If I'm with my DM next week, does that mean that I'm not going to still have the same core issue? Well, I might heal this core issue for next week, but I'm going to heal the one for the next one. Like, it's just, I'm going to be with my DM. Now the problems I had in my past are just gone. No. When I catch myself doing that, I'll be like, oh, I guess I should probably solve that problem now and not wait to solve that problem later when I have a potential hypothetical future where I can solve that problem somehow, but can't now by myself. So I still do that. And then the seduction by romantic illusion part is where I'm like, oh, I imagine my divine masculine is feeling some type of way. And then if I do this thing, like, then this will happen. And then we'll be so happy forever and ever and ever and ever. And then at the end of the night, you're like, really? I did that, and then this whole day nothing happened? Well, you wouldn't feel like that at the end of the night if you didn't start the morning with a romantic illusion, right? Disappointment is because your expectation that you had was an illusion that could not be fulfilled. There's expecting things to go well in a general sense and expecting to receive exactly what you're demanding. And if you are always expecting to receive what you are demanding, you will always go to bed disappointed. For the most part, unless you have lots and lots and lots and lots of money, and then you're still going to go to bed disappointed because it's not going to feel like any of that came from like the divine. It's going to feel like, well, I just made that happen and it's not real. Right? Oh, this person's just fucking me because I'm rich. Or, this is happening because I paid for that. Or these people told me I'm good because I pay them to do that, right? So even if you have a lot of money, you're still disappointed with your expectations if you don't generalize your expectations. You should expect to be successful. You should expect to experience good feelings. You should expect situations to go as you intend them to go, and you should set intentions for them. But you should expect to learn things if they don't. You should expect to be surprised. You should expect to have an opportunity to expand. And when you do that, you don't go to bed upset. You don't feel like you're disappointed. You don't feel like Divine Masculine didn't show up as a knight in shining armor because you didn't expect him to. You started the day thinking, I'm going to do this nice loving thing because I love the Divine Masculine and I want him to be happy today. And then you go about your day. And if something wonderful happens, wow, that's wonderful. And if something not wonderful happens, it already happened. It happened in the moment that you chose to do something out of love without an expectation of return. St. Catherine is here to help you with this. You really, really want this sacred union. You might not want an actual legal marriage because not everybody has those feelings, but there's something that you want to either be very committed to or receive commitment from. And you are feeling a need to, I guess, maybe have support in this way. Like if you did this before and you didn't do it so well, like now you're really wanting to learn how to do it better. And so St. Catherine is here to support you in these things. You can pray to her about this. You can pray for enlightenment. You can pray for the to be open to receive it. We're getting the reconciliation card. It was in its reverse, so I'm just thinking about that for a minute. I mean, Divine Feminine would really like reconciliation, which is the opportunity to reunite and, receive apology, give apology, receive forgiveness, give forgiveness. This might be difficult for her right now. It might be difficult for her to reconcile what has happened in a past marriage, or the fact that she's not receiving commitment, or it might be difficult for her to be in forgiveness, or she might have really done a lot of forgiveness work. There could be those of us that have done that too. Either way, there is this work on reconciliation, absolution. If you're a practicing Catholic and you see that card in reverse, I would say, maybe make a point to go to confession, make a point to receive the sacrament of reconciliation. Symbolically, it is beautiful, and I'm pretty sure, I bet they are doing it virtually now, so you could probably do it virtually if you needed to. But if that speaks to you, I would say that's a call to engage in reconciliation. Look at the bigger picture. So don't get caught up in those details. Those are the things that bring us anxiety. Instead, ask why, not how. The age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So you are ready for this. We have come to a point in time, it would seem, based on the books I read and the YouTube videos I watch, but of people who are talking about these spiritual concepts, these ancient spiritual concepts. But there are multiple indigenous cultures that have beliefs that this time in history is where we ascend to the point where we no longer need to keep track of linear time. There's all these really interesting things that come through the age of Aquarius into this ascension age. And we've been training for this for lifetimes. When Radha and Krishna were together, they had experienced the curse of separation. So they could never unite in the material. But all of the soul contracts are coming to fruition in these ages because we've been training for this sacred union to heal each other. Oh. Whew. Any of you who know about my shamanic journey, and I told a couple of you about the deep details when you see this, wolf spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. This is a huge image for me recently, finding out a lot of stuff about my history and my line and all kinds of things. And this is definitely one of my guardians, which is why I need my actual physical husky or giant wolf dog to appear before me very soon. All right, wolf spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest. Holy moly. That holds the secrets to your life. Oh my God. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow? Asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of wolf spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. Jesus Christ! Anyway, like, wolf spirit. Oh, okay, we have some healing that has taken place. We're now going to look at the oracles for the union in its completion. So here are the things that you are in union in regards to. And I'm happy because we saw this card for Divine Masculine in reverse yesterday because he was feeling not so good. But for the both of you right now, your sexual energy is Emperor energy, honey. It's powerful, it's passionate, it's insatiable. You cannot satiate an Aries. I'm just saying, not possible. Morning, afternoon, night, all day. That's the energy here. But you feel like you are actually capable of creating something really solid and stable and lasting forever. You're in the light attributes of the advocate because you are both being advocates for each other and for this union. It is inspiring you to put compassion into action for one another. So instead of, good morning, instead of being in a state where you are constantly, you know, being like, masculine does this, feminine does that, you're like, God damn it, I hate when this happens, but I understand that it's because this person, I just got a phone call. I understand that it's because I'm dealing with this person that has very deep wounds. So this is really positive. You are no longer blaming one another for what happens. You're really being compassionate. And because you're being compassionate for one another, there's compassion for the union itself and advocacy for the union. Here's your reward. Your guardian angel is here. And your reward is peace. It's peace. It's the end of the struggle. If you can receive it, your guardian angel will support you in receiving this. You are about to really, really, really travel, though. You've been on this very long journey. And it's only just begun. We've only just begun, right? Just started. We saw page energy over here. That's new energy. This is a new time. This is a new opportunity for this union to really be fully expressed. There's likely going to be travel. There could be moving in or moving out, moving away. There could be honeymoon. There could be, all kinds of things. But there's a lot of travel that's about to take place. And it's a travel that is now going to be happening together, not alone. Surrender to the divine. And it was emphasized. So continue to surrender. And now you're getting fox spirit. Think on your feet. So you need to be clever right now together and creative. This is a little bit of Gemini energy to me. They're very resourceful, like my son is a Gemini and also a Capricorn rising, so he's also very he wants to work on projects all the time. From the time that he was little, he would take recyclables and random things and he would build all these devices. I was like, you're like MacGyver. What are you he'd be like, oh look mom, I made this thing that does this, and I'd be like, okay, great. How did you do that? How did you think of that? They have that quick energy. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared and you are meant to move swiftly. You got that travel card with Fox Spirit and surrender to the divine, which is Chariot energy. Girl, you're about to move, okay? Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you to think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move. aware of your surroundings, and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox spirit, will serve you well. All right, let's close out this reading with the Love Oracle cards from Island Time Wellness and get the advice that we should take today to be able to manifest what it is that we desire. I said earlier, I did my homework, so I am looking forward to my manifestations. And I'm having a lot of experiences lately where if you say no, you become incredibly magnetic. When you honor your authenticity and say no to people, you just start getting so many opportunities. It's really crazy. All right. Don't forget to like this, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, head over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you don't always have the opportunity to be watching this live with me and you want to watch it later and it's kind of annoying to watch it on Instagram because it is, I will be uploading these videos over to YouTube as well. So you can watch it there. You can watch tomorrow's reading there or future readings on YouTube too. If you have YouTube Premium, it just works better, etc. So look for that later. And that's assuming that it lets me download it every once in a while. Instagram is a little bitch and doesn't work. So hopefully it goes well, and it should be over there every day if you don't make the live. Thank you very much for being here with me today. And let's see what we could do today that would help us come into union. Divine masculine. I said earlier that I did my work. I did my masculine energy work, which was to open my heart and release past ideas, outdated thinking. And then I did my divine feminine work, and I said I wasn't sure if divine masculine did his divine feminine work. Well, look what he got. Divine masculine, you didn't do your divine feminine work yesterday. So it's coming out in reverse to me to show you what you better done do. You got seduction and you got kisses. Honey, you saw divine feminine sexual energy today? There was sun, there was fancy, there was Two of Cups happening. And you know, the Emperor, like, we're empowered here. You're feeling optimistic. You want to be a sad boy anymore? Okay, well, it's your turn to turn up the heat. You need to be flirting, hooking up, right? And there's also, if there's any third-party interference, you need to release that. The other thing that you need to do is be unconditionally loving, give and receive affection. So if you do your homework today, it looks like you're going to have a pretty good day. I wish my homework in high school and college was like that. Like, oh, hey, you know what I need you to do today? I need you to just, get busy. Okay. I would have been a straight A student. I mean, I was. I guess I would have been an even better student. All right, divine feminine. What do you got to do today? Well, we've got sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. And we're getting paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, and enjoying each other. And they were in reverse. So I think what you have to do is stop the repetitive thinking that protects you from being able to enjoy your happiness. If you think about yesterday, if you did the homework like I did, if you engaged in some of the homework yesterday and you didn't see any real significant changes, there is a tendency there to loop over that persistent repetitive thought that divine masculine's going to sabotage our paradise, our happiness, our joy, whatever. You really need to release that energy. You need to be more persistent. You need to work on it. It's the repetitive thinking that is itself sabotaging your happiness. Consistently, that the cassette deck, it's interesting, right? Divine Masculine got that cassette yesterday, which is outdated thinking over and over and over. And it's like you were doing that yesterday. So maybe you did your Divine Feminine work, but you weren't so great at dealing with the loop thinking. You were still kind of being like, oh, well, Divine Masculine didn't do his assignment. Divine Masculine didn't do his assignment. Divine Masculine didn't do his assignment because I didn't see anything happen. I didn't see anything happen. I didn't see anything happen. Take a breath with me. Yesterday I told you to close your eyes and say, what do you want? If you want it, do this thing. And I told you if you didn't do it, it would be okay. It would mean it's not time yet. The underlying feeling here, this is bottom of the, oh my God. The underlying feeling that I'm getting for this day is this separation, this sadness, this missing you, thinking about you, yearning for the future. It must be transformed. It must evolve. The separation must evolve, and there's one way and one way to do it. Answer the call. There's the love call. The separation from the thing that you desire has to be transformed. You need to end the loop thinking, the outdated thinking, which I'm not kidding, is that right underneath it that I just talked about, the cassette tape. And underneath that is love. So work on that. Work on releasing these feelings of yearning. Transform those into healing of the inner child and growth. And then accept this call today, this message of love. Let the other person, if this is a reading where you're thinking about another person, let that other person know that you're thinking about them today. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if this was a 2-hour reading because I didn't pay attention when I started, but yesterday was really long, so y'all are still here. I guess you must enjoy it. Thank you very, very much. I will see you tomorrow. It will not be in the morning, though. It will be at 12 p.m. With Gray Strega. And I'm very excited for that. And then you'll have an opportunity to ask personal questions. Start thinking about them. We always have really great readings when we get those personal questions. Sometimes they're questions about us as readers or how we do certain things with cards. But we're also open to questions about if you have something that's on your mind and you want us to pull cards for you, we do that. So please come and join us tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, with Grace Strega, and go follow her right now if you don't already because she's amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great day. It was so good to see everyone, all my besties in here. I love you. Take care.